Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is actually going to be an NBA video. Just want to talk about all the interesting storylines and all the interesting things going around the league right now. Obviously, this is one of the most intriguing NBA seasons in a long time. A lot of it has to do with LeBron James. LeBron's decision sparked a lot of controversy. And personally, for me, I think it was the right move. I really do. The way he did it, obviously, probably wasn't the right way to do it. He rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. That's pretty well documented. But, I think him you know, leaving Cleveland was the right thing because that Cleveland Cavalier franchise, the organization, they didn't really bring in anyone, that great to me. I feel like they passed up on a lot of good players that they could have brought in. I think Stoudemire was one of them. I really feel like this team is very, very average if you take LeBron off the team, and still, you look at the team right now, they're one of the weakest teams in the East, and if LeBron was on the team right now, they probably have the best record in the regular season, but once the playoffs started, the same thing probably would have happened again. So I think LeBron made the right move. But yeah, the situation in Miami, it really hasn't been pretty so far. It's starting to look pretty good right now, but there's a lot of questions that are going to be answered down the road. There's a lot of great storyline stuff attached to this whole situation, which I'll get into eventually. But yeah, they got off to a really, really shaky start. I think a big reason for it was Dwayne Wade. When Wade missed the preseason, I really think that hurt them. I think it's very, very important to play during the preseason, because you gotta, you took the whole summer off. You need to get some time to get back into your rhythm. That was a problem, and I feel like Bosh, they really didn't know what to do with Bosh at first. I felt like they were kind of giving Bosh the ball, and he was pretty much like the go-to guy at first. I really felt like the first game against the Celtics, they were kind of just giving him the ball, standing around, just watching him. And I really don't think he needs to be the first or second option. I feel like Bosh needs to be the guy, out of the big three. I feel like he needs to be the guy that's kind of like the supporting player, kind of like the guy that will fill in all the holes when they need him. But the thing about Bosh is, he's really not the dominant big man that they need. I feel like with LeBron and Wade, they're such great shooters, they're such great scorers. For the extra piece to the puzzle of the big three puzzle, I would say that you really need a guy that knows his role, wants to rebound, wants to just clean up and just play hard-nosed defense. And Bosh really isn't that guy. Bosh really hasn't proved that he can win with other players. He hasn't proved that he can win on his own. He really doesn't have a great resume as far as winning goes. So a lot of questions about Bosh. I would say if they had Stoudemire, that would be, they'd be friggin' undefeated right now. I think Stoudemire is a much more dominant player than a Chris Bosh. But Bosh is, he's more of a guard, really. He's a guard trapped inside a big man's body. And he's a great scorer, though. He could take people off the dribble. But, he's just, I don't know. I really think his shots need to be limited, and the bulk of the scoring needs to come from Wade and LeBron. So that's just my opinion. But, I think Bosh, he's been playing good. I think they'll get it right eventually as far as his role goes. And but really, I think things are going to turn around for Miami. I feel like this game against Cleveland, the game against Cleveland is going to be the turning point of the season. Obviously, LeBron got booed out of the building. It was a hostile environment, but Miami really stepped up to the challenge, and they annihilated them. LeBron had his best game of the season. I feel like this game, once Miami got past that game, that was a huge step for them. Because I really feel like LeBron was nervous. He had a lot of that was just a nice game to get the monkey off of LeBron's back. And now I feel like once they got past that, that was one of the big hurdles they had to get over. And now I'm not going to say things are going to get easy from now on. I'm just saying that was just a big stepping stone for them. So now that they got that out of the way, let's talk about Erik Spoelstra. Spoelstra got a lot of the heat earlier on in the season. But I really feel like this guy deserves a chance. You could tell he's very, very stressed out. You could tell he's a very, very hardworking guy. Obviously the whole thing with Pat Riley, Pat Riley has done this before. He pretty much, Stan Van Gundy stepped down the year when they won the championship in 2005-06. And, Riley came in and coached the team to a championship. So a lot of people are thinking the same thing is going to happen. I don't know. I think it's still a possibility. I think Pat Riley wants this thing to work. For those that don't know, Riley is one of the most competitive coaches of all time. You look at Michael Jordan's Hall of Fame speech. I mean, you look at anyone that Jordan talked about. The guy that got the most praise was actually Pat Riley. He talked about how, out of anyone else in the world, Pat Riley's the one guy that has the same characteristics, the same competitive drive that Jordan has. So I think that really says a lot. Pat Riley is a do or die coach. He's every possession is do or die for him. He's a very, very hardworking coach. He works his players to death, and I really feel like if Miami's going to underdeliver around the trading deadline, I feel like if they keep going at the pace that they're going at, they really haven't beaten any great teams yet. I mean, the only great team that they've beaten so far is Utah. They lost to Utah as well in Miami. They already lost to Utah. I think they beat Orlando in the home opener. But besides that, I mean, all the teams that they've beaten have been pretty mediocre. I mean, they really haven't beaten any great teams. They've had a really, really tough time against teams with great point guards, like Boston with John Rondo, with the New Orleans Hornets, Chris Paul, even Utah with Darren Williams. I mean, they really have a tough time at the point guard position. I really think they need to try to, Steve Blake would have been a great fit for this team. I feel like Arroyo, Carlos Arroyo, their point guard right now, he has more of a scorer's mentality. I feel like they really need a point guard that's smart, that's efficient, that will, set Wade and LeBron up and give them the ball at the appropriate time. And the other thing is, I really wish they would go after more of a dominant big. I know they got Eric Dampier, but hopefully they could pick up someone else before the trading deadline. The problem is they don't have a lot of cap space, so we'll see what happens there. But I really think, I know they're on a roll right now. Ever since the Cleveland game, it's been, they've been pretty much blowing out a lot of teams. But if they keep under delivering, and if things don't significantly improve, and if they don't beat some of the better teams in the league, I really feel like there's still a chance that Pat Riley might come back, which is a shame, because I think Spoelstra's a good coach. I think he's a disciple of Pat Riley. I think I started off as like the video coordinator in 1995 when Riley actually came to the Heat, and he's pretty much worked his way up. So it'd be a shame for them just to let go of Spoelstra and for Riley to come back. I know Wade doesn't want that to happen. Because Riley's very, very demanding. He works his players into the ground. It's very, very grueling to play for Pat Riley, according to a lot of players. So, but Riley is. I mean, if this does not live up to expectations, if they keep losing to some of the better teams in the league, I think it's a big chance that Riley will come back before the playoffs start. I say it's 50-50 though. I really do. But it should be interesting to see how that plays out. Very, very interesting. So, all right. So around the rest of the NBA, let's talk about the Boston Celtics. I think the Celtics have upgraded. I was kind of thinking about Shaq on the team. I was kind of hesitant about whether that was a good move, because Shaq has looked very, very lackluster over the past 5 years. But I think he's fitting nicely with the Celtics. I mean, he doesn't really have to do that much. He could just pretty much just camp out and just, he doesn't have to expend a lot of energy. It's not like it was with Cleveland or Phoenix, where he was pretty much the only big guy that they had at certain parts of the game. Garnett takes a lot of pressure off of him, so I think that worked out well. But I love Boston. I think Boston's stacked. They got Delonte West coming off the bench. They got, once Rondo comes out, you got Nate Robinson coming in. He's a great backup point guard. I mean, they're just stacked at every position. I know they're getting older, but they're still very, very sharp to me. I feel like this is probably their last chance to win a championship. I feel like this is the best. I feel like they're probably the favorite to do it. And they're pretty much the only team in the East I see standing in the way of Miami. If Miami can get past Boston, then I think they're pretty much made as far as getting into the championship. They're the only team I think could give Miami a run for their money. I would give Miami the edge over Orlando, and the other team in the East is Chicago. The Chicago Bulls have definitely upgraded. I would say that Derrick Rose is the best point guard in the league right now by far. I would give him the edge over Chris Paul and Darren Williams, and I think you can make a case that Derrick Rose is the best the MVP of this season so far. I mean, Chicago doesn't have a spectacular record, but they have a good enough record, and I feel like Rose's numbers are just so good, and they've beaten some really good teams. They just beat the Lakers on Friday night, so I feel like you could definitely make a case for Derrick Rose as the best player in the league, the MVP of the league. He's improved his jump shooting. I mean, look at his shooting. I mean, I think he hit more 3-pointers this season than he already hit last season. I believe that's accurate. I'm not sure about that, but I mean, without a doubt, this guy has so much strength and so much. He's got dexterity. This guy has it all. So I don't see how you could dispute that this guy is not the best point guard in the league as of right now. And Carlos Boozer, he's still trying to get back into shape, but I think he's already made a great impact with Chicago. And Luol Deng's playing better. They got a better coach. This coach that they have, he was actually the assistant for Boston last year. A lot of people were very, very high on him. So they do have a better coach now. So I like Chicago. I don't like the chances as far as winning the championship, but this will be a big year for them. I see them definitely getting out of the first round. And the other thing is the New York Knicks. The other MVP contender would be Amari Stoudemire. The Knicks are finally back. I was a huge Knicks fan. From like '93 to 2000. Like after Jordan retired to maybe like 2000. Like I was a diehard Knicks fan. So it's very, very refreshing to see them playing well. It's a very, very exciting time. And Stoudemire's been a beast out there. He's been scoring like 30 points every single game. Raymond Felton's been playing great. Wilson Chandler. I mean, this is just a stacked team right now. Now the thing is, a lot of these guys have increased their trade value. So one of the things going around the league, one of the storylines is that Carmelo Anthony wants out of Denver. It's been pretty well documented. I talked about this back during the summertime, and the Knicks is a team he wants to go to. He's got ties to New York. I think his wife is from New York. I think he's from New York. He got married in New York, so it's a perfect fit. But at the same time, maybe the Knicks got something special with this rotation that they have right now. With I like the guy that's probably going to end up going, either Chandler or Gallinari. Either one of those two guys are probably going to go, and maybe someone else on the bench, maybe a draft pick. I don't know. It'd be great if they could just add Carmelo to the nucleus that they have right now. I think that'd be beautiful. But yeah, that would definitely make the Knicks, arguably the favorite in the East. So we'll see what happens there. Very interesting to see what will happen there. All right, so let's talk. I mean, people want to talk about the East. I would say that the East has definitely improved, but I still give the edge to the Western Conference. You still have a lot of powerhouses out West. You got the Spurs, you got the Lakers, you got the Mavericks, and you got Oklahoma City, and then you got New Orleans. Those are pretty much the powerhouses out West. Now, for those that don't know, the San Antonio Spurs have the best record in the league, which is kind of surprising to me. I expected them to be better than they were last year, but I didn't expect them to be this good, and I think there's a lot of reasons for that. They're healthy. I think Tim Duncan lost 20 pounds. Richard Jefferson has fit in well with the system this year. It took him a while to get going. He's very, very inconsistent to me, but, give him credit. It seems like he's finally gotten comfortable under Greg Popovich's system. Ginobili's healthy. I always say, if Ginobili's healthy, he's one of the best players in the league. It's just so exciting to watch. And then you got, I really feel like Tony Parker, he actually got divorced recently, or his wife filed for divorce, Evan Longoria. I feel like that was a big distraction, having her at the games and everything like that. It seems like ever since he got married to her, like his game totally has fallen off. He won the NBA Finals MVP in 2007, but ever since then, he's kind of went downhill every single year. But they're just all healthy this year, and I just like their team. I definitely think this is probably San Antonio's last chance to win the championship. So we'll see what happens there. The Lakers, I really think the Lakers have improved. I'm really, really happy with the way Lamar Odom is playing. I think Odom, playing over the summertime and for the FIBA team, the U.S. Not the Olympic team, but the World Championship team. I really feel like that's helped him. I feel like when Odom keeps playing, when he's in his rhythm, when he's in shape, I feel like he needs that edge. And if Odom plays great, the Lakers are definitely unbeatable in my opinion. I think the Lakers do need Bynum back, though. I think with Bynum, they could be a little bit more dominant. They've been kind of slipping as of late. But I love their bench, though. With Steve Blake coming off the bench, I think Blake is going to be the starting point guard next season. And then you got Matt Barnes. It's funny to me because I feel like Kobe, he seems like he always goes after the guys that he had beef with during the games. Like, I remember him and Artest, they got into that big fight a couple seasons ago, and then Artest came to the Lakers. And then last year, if you guys could remember, Matt Barnes and Kobe had that altercation in Orlando. So I think Kobe likes that. I think he likes guys that step up to the plate and challenge him during games. So, recruited these guys so they bring the best out of him in practice. I think it's a brilliant move. If Kobe was probably had a hand in recruiting these guys. I'm sure he did. And then the other team out west, the Dallas Mavericks, have won 12 games in a row. They're just a better overall team. They have Tyson Chandler now. I definitely think he's made a big difference for this team. The Dallas has always lacked a big presence in the middle, and now they pretty much have it. Jason Kidd's been playing good. I mean, Dirk has been having one of the best seasons in a long time. So I like Dallas, but at the same time, I can't really see this team going that far. Maybe the Western Conference Finals, but that's that's a big maybe though. But I wish them the best though, because I know Mark Cuban is dying for a championship. All right, Oklahoma City Thunder. They've been kind of disappointing. I mean, they haven't been. I was expecting this team to possibly have the best record in the West. But they're still a great team though. I mean, you could argue that Kevin Durant is the MVP for this season. He's actually leading the league in scoring. And Russell Westbrook has been blowing my mind. I would say that while I think Derrick Rose is probably the best point guard in the league, I would say that Russell Westbrook is the most athletic point guard in the league. So I would just say that the New Orleans Hornets got off to a great start, but they're kind of slipping right now. I don't know. I think they made a big trade last off season, which I think definitely benefited them. Obviously they had when Paul was hurt, they had Collison step in at the point guard position, and he increased his trade value. So they ended up trading him, getting Ariza. Okafor has been playing better. I mean, they had a great start to the season, but I just don't see them being like the best team in the league or the best team in the West like they were for the first couple weeks of the season. So the other team is Utah Jazz. I like Utah. I think Utah has improved. I think Boozer is a better fit for Chicago. I don't think he was a great fit for the Jerry Sloan offense. I really think Al Jefferson's a better fit for them. So now they have Al Jefferson. I think other guys, Paul Millsap has improved. It's like Boozer leaving the team has pretty much opened things up on the perimeter. They're just a funner team to watch now. I think they're a slightly a better team, not that much better. They're still not good enough to win the West or anything like that, but they are a better team. But that's pretty much it. As far as Rookie of the Year, I mean, Blake Griffin's his highlights have been insane. Watch Blake Griffin out there. He's been putting on some of the most mind-blowing highlights out there, just dunking over everybody. But I don't know. I still think John Wall, you could consider him as Rookie of the Year as well. I'm not so sure how, Wizards aren't doing that well right now, but I'm a bigger fan of John Wall. I think they're two very, very exciting players. Take your pick, Rookie of the Year, John Wall, Blake Griffin. It's pretty much a toss-up. We'll see what happens there. And like I said, I think the MVP, obviously Kobe and LeBron, you could put them into the discussion. But I feel like Derrick Rose, I put him at number 1. I put Amari at number 2. And I put Kevin Durant at number 3. So those are probably my top 3 MVPs for this season. So that's pretty much it. I think when the NBA Finals come, I would love to see Lakers versus Miami Heat. I mean, who would not want to see that? That'd be a dream matchup. For as much as people hate the Miami Heat, you can't deny that. You definitely want to see that as the NBA Finals. That'd be so much fun. But if I had to put money on it, I'd probably still stay the Lakers and the Celtics one more time, which would be an awesome rematch once again. Because I think Kevin Garnett is hungry as hell. You can see a lot of those guys. They really feel bitter about what happened last year, and that'd be cool to see Kobe and Shaq go at it in the finals. So either way, there's going to be a lot of interesting things coming up this season, or that are going to be going on this season. So it's just been a great season so far. So we'll see what happens, and we'll see if Pat Riley does indeed come down and coach the Miami Heat. That's the most interesting thing to me. I'm really interested to see how this whole Riley Spoelstra thing is going to play out. So, all right, guys, thanks for watching.